Hey everyone, and thank you for coming to our team training, our second one of the year. Today we're going to be talking about the power of a morning routine. And I don't know about you, but I have been inconsistently consistent in doing a morning routine. I totally believe in them, and the times when I actually do my morning routine, I have super awesome days. And so one of my goals this year is to really be more consistent in my morning routine, because I know when I'm consistent in my morning routine, my days run really smooth. So we're going to get started here, kind of just talking about why it's important. But I wanted to ask Heather and Charisse to kind of talk to us about their morning routine that they do. I know that they both kind of do one. And so Heather, tell us what you do for your morning routine.
Well, my morning routine starts off with the fact that I prepped the night before. So like I always have to work out every morning. It makes me feel like I can really start the day, like cuz I have to give a little bit of focus to me time because I mean, if you've got kids, I mean, there's very little me time that happens. So, I get up, come down. My workout clothes are right by the basement door. I put my workout clothes on, my gym shoes. I have my pre-workout already, and then I go downstairs and I drink my pre-workout, and I'll read a Bible study while I'm waiting my pre-workout to work. And then when I'm finished with my pre-workout, I do my workout and come upstairs and start working on the kids' lunches. And hopefully they're not awake yet, but most of the time they are.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome.
that helps me to like really like I know exactly what I'm going to do, and if I know if I allot enough time for each piece, then I feel a lot more complete. Like like I'm intentional with my time, and I'm
Yeah.
not just sort of like flailing about. So that's how
You have a plan, you have a organized routine that you kind of follow every day.
exactly.
And would you say that when you get up before your children, your days are like when your children are not your alarm clock, but you get up and have that time to yourself?
Oh, it's priceless. There's something about just starting your day, focusing on bettering yourself that makes me better for my family. So when they wake up and I'm already finished with my workout, that I've already done my Bible study, it just makes me feel like, okay, I've done what I need to fix, not fix, but like just to do what I need to make me a better me. Now I can be happy and more focused and help them.
Totally. There is something that I think morning routines really do, which it really helps set the tone for the day.
Mhm.
So it better allows us to control our day instead of our schedule controlling us. And so I know that when um, I stay up late the night before and kind of don't go to bed early enough because I just want to like watch a show and veg out because I've had a long day or whatever. Um, I know that when I wake up early and I get myself ready and then I greet my kids for the day, instead of like them showing up by my bedside and being like, I'm awake, or crawling in bed with me or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
I my day is so much better when I am just awake before they are, and my mind is awake, when I get a little caffeine in me. And uh, even if all I do that morning is just simply get up before them and get dressed before I have to start doing stuff for them, my
Yep.
day just goes so much better. Um, Charisse, tell us what you do for your morning routine. Oh, let me unmute you though. Maybe. Oh, I
Okay.
just
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. I saw a little notification. Anyway, I am hearing you and nodding yes to everything you're saying about getting up before the kids. I will have to say that I've had a morning routine in my life for probably 2, 3 years, maybe. Before that, my kids were my alarm clock. And I can tell you that I struggled, except for work days. Anyway, long story. But I can tell you that I struggled mentally when my kids were my alarm clock, because it was like, whoa, 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 stop the hyperness, stop. I can't function. I haven't caught up to you yet. And then there would be like a sense of tension there. So I intentionally, on weekdays, I do not do this on the weekends. I enjoy my weekends to be different, but weekdays, Monday through Friday, I get up before my children about 45 minutes. So that puts me about 6 a.m. And I go downstairs and I have a favorite chair in my living room and I turn on the fire and I have this stack of books and things next to my favorite chair that sits there all the time. And my daily routine isn't the same every single morning. It's almost like I sit with myself for a minute or two and decide, how do I want to spend this time? And sometimes it's journaling, sometimes it's meditation, sometimes it's reading a book, usually like a motivational book. And then I usually end up with reading about 10 minutes of the Bible. So that's how I spend my time. And I just feel very, really lucky to have that. And sometimes I have a little munchkin that wakes up earlier than me, and she'll come downstairs and sit on my lap and cuddle with me while I'm reading. And I just finish what I'm doing, and go on. I don't let them take over my time. So yeah, that's what I do. And then I get ready and get them ready for school.
That's awesome. And I feel, I'm going to mute you again. I love that. And what you said about there ends up being some tension there, that I feel like what happens first thing in the morning really sets the tone for the day. So when I wake up and I do my thing, and I'll explain what I do for my morning routine later, but when I wake up and go for it, and do me first, and then it's kind of like the ball's in my court. And so I will go into Audrey's room and snuggle her and wake her up, and it's like, ooh, I'm hopping in your bed now instead of you hopping in mine. And the day just runs so much smoother. And I have had days where I'll have woken up to do my morning routine and I'm excited for that me time, and then one of my kids does wake up, and I basically do the same thing that Sharice does, is I kind of invite her in to do my routine with me, but it's not like I'm starting off, you do you. Or sometimes I can just put on a little show or something for her so I can finish or whatever before we dive into the day. So, okay, I looked up some information, to kind of chat more about this. You could go do a quick internet search and you would find thousands and thousands of articles on morning routines. Like, there are so many morning routines out there. And I, for one, am a night owl. I love to stay up late, but I know that when I get up early and I have that time, especially after having children, I do so much better waking up early. And the first time I heard about a morning routine, I was a mom. I had been a mom for 1 year, and I was really struggling with, I actually didn't have any other jobs or anything. I was basically just doing the mom thing. And I was listening to this real estate podcast of all things. And it was an interview with Hal Enrod, which, if you haven't read his book, it's called The Miracle Morning. And it kind of just talks about his morning routine and his whole story and stuff. It's interesting. We won't dive into that here, but I was inspired to kind of create a motherhood morning routine. And I've kind of carried that with me for a few years. And like I said, I've been consistent about it, but also inconsistent. It's always there, but it's hit and miss if I get it every day. But what a morning routine essentially is it's a set of actions that you perform in the morning, usually before starting your day's main activity, like mommying or working your business or going to your other job or before your kids get up, that sort of thing. So, and anyone will tell you, anyone who does a morning routine or anyone who is a highly successful individual will tell you they do a morning routine. And anyone who does a morning routine will tell you it's probably one of the keys to having successful days. I can totally attest. Like yesterday, I got up at 5. I did my morning routine that takes about an hour. And I didn't yell once at my kids. I didn't lose my patience once. It was a perfect day. And at the end of the day, my husband called me on his way home from work and we were just chatting, and he was like, so how'd the day go? And I go, it was a perfect day. It was a great day. I have no complaints about the day. And it's because I had set the tone at the very beginning of it. And it's when I have days like that it makes me want to keep doing my morning routine. And then when I have crappy days, it's a reminder, you fell off the bandwagon, get back to do your morning routine. So there's a book called The Slight Edge. We're reading it as a team this month, and I'm super into it. And it talks about how successful people do the same simple tasks day in and day out, and only about like 5% of people do this. So anyone who watches this video, only 1 out of 20 people watching are actually going to implement like a morning routine of sorts. But basically, successful people, they understand that doing something as mundane as a morning routine every morning is something that will help lead them more to success. And I mean, I seriously, like, I've just said it 3 times, but the days when I do my morning routine, I have so much more control of my day. I'm so much more productive. Like, it's just the bomb. I love the days when I've started off the day right, you know? So basically, there's another thing. I don't know if you guys have read the book, The Power of Habit, but they talk about willpower in that book. And they say that the amount of available willpower, you know, like your willpower is like, I'm going to stop myself from eating that chocolate right now. And then you don't eat it, you know, like you actually have the willpower to not do something or to do something, you know. So we actually have like a limit of willpower that we can have throughout the day. And the amount of available willpower is actually highest right after we sleep. And so during the day, we use up our willpower, and it reaches its most minimum level at the evening. So therefore, this is the time, evening, when people often break resolutions at the end of the day. Like, how often do you hear that someone's like eating healthy all day, and then at the end of the day they consume all this chocolate in the evening? Like, I was that person last night. Actually, I've been like debating giving up sugar for a long time, and I'm like, I should just do like a sugar fast. And anyway, last night I got the kids in bed, and I like ate a buttery bowl of popcorn and a Milky Way dark. So, anyway, yeah, but that is willpower's like circadian rhythm in action right there. Prime example. So anyway, so success, like when we think about our businesses, we want to have success in our businesses. And we know doing things like the Power Hour, you know, when you're consistent in something. Like when I first joined Color Street, I reached out to 3 really good friends who were successful in other direct selling companies, like in Synagents and LuLaRoe, and I think another LuLaRoe girl. And I asked them, like, okay, I'm doing this. Give me your best tips. And all of them said consistency, just consistency. And I'm going on 3 years this July, and I'm like proud to say I've been super consistent. And anyway, so we know that consistency leads to success. We know the Power Hour leads to success. But sometimes it's like, oh, how do I fit in the Power Hour? How do I fit this into my day, you know, and kind of discipline myself, which it's really hard when you have kids and schedules to juggle. But success, Jim Rohn says that success is a few simple disciplines practiced every day, while failure is simply a few errors in judgment repeated every day. And so starting your day off with a morning routine, and maybe your morning routine is just your Power Hour. Maybe you get your Power Hour done before your kids wake up, or maybe it's something that's more for you. But everybody, like so many successful people do morning routines. So I don't know if you've listened to Rachel Hollis' podcast on morning routines, but she wakes up at 5, and if her body naturally wakes up earlier and it's past 3 a.m., she just stays awake. So say she just like wakes up at 3:30 or 4, she'll just stay awake, and she'll have that much extra time in the morning, which like kind of blows my mind. The Apple CEO, he wakes up at 3:45 every morning, and he gets like a head start on his emails. Benjamin Franklin, he woke up at 5 to start his morning routine. Richard Branson gets going at 5:45 a.m. to exercise. Warren Buffett gets started at 6:45 to read the paper. Kelly France, our upline leader, I asked her about her morning routine. She wakes up at 7 every day, and she she mentioned that what she does for her morning routine is she gets ready for the day because it really helps her with her confidence, like actually getting dressed for success. She like does her makeup, her hair, and that really helps her, with feeling more confident. And then she also exercises every single day at 8 o'clock and reads or listens to personal development while she's getting ready. So every highly successful person wakes up, they wake up at a different time, they have a different routine. And what's important is that you kind of experiment enough with your routine to find out what works for you. Life is all about experimenting, and the more experiences you make, the better. So, for me, like I've always felt like, oh yeah, I'm going to get up and I'm going to work out at 5 a.m. But that actually is not like the best for me. I actually really like going to the YMCA, checking my kids in, and working out around 9. And so I had to kind of experiment because I kind of thought, oh, I can totally do this. I can work out super early, no big deal. But really, it just wasn't the best fit for me, and exercising later was better. And as you heard in the beginning, like Heather's routine and Teresa's routine are very different. Heather, she wakes up and she needs that exercise and she does a little devotional. Therese, sits and reads and just has time to like wake up and get ready before her kids do anything. And so there are so many different things that you can do for a morning routine. It doesn't have to be at 5 a.m. Even if it's just waking up 15 minutes earlier than your kids do and praying or meditating or reading the news, or just doing some sun salutations of yoga. You could write in your gratitude journal, read personal development books, read the Bible. It could be as simple as like waking up, filling a glass of water and drinking it and having that be your routine. I mean, it can be so simple. So before we end here, we've got like 9 or so minutes left, but I'm going to tell you what I do for my morning routine. And I am a Jesus freak. So my routine, I have an acronym for my morning routine that I follow every morning when I do it. Remember, I'm inconsistently consistent. But anyway, I call it my Savior morning routine. So Savior, like Jesus. Woohoo. Anyway, so it's an acronym. So the S stands for self-care. And this entire routine takes me about an hour. And I spend about 10 or so minutes on everything. So you're welcome to use any of this as inspiration, of course. So the S stands for self-care. And what that looks like to me is I wake up, I walk to the kitchen, I fill up my water bottle with ice cold water. And sometimes I put a caffeine pouch in there, depending on how I'm feeling. And then I go back into my bathroom and I get ready for the day. And that includes, maybe I'm getting dressed to sweats, or maybe I'm getting dressed cute, whatever. I'm actually getting dressed and kind of just getting ready for whatever I have. Maybe it's an exercise class, maybe it's not, so spend 10 minutes just like getting ready. I usually shower the night before. The A stands for adoration. And this is my time to kind of do my affirmations and do my gratitude. And I have written out a couple pages of I am statements about myself. Like I am an exceptional mother and wife, and I am intentional with my time. I am a rock star recruiter, like all these I am statements. And I've written them out that pertain to my my day or whatever and my life. And I even have one that says like I have $1 million in my bank account. When you say it like it's already happened, there's like a lot of power in that. So anyway, I have these I am statements and I read them, and it's like a paper. I just read it. And sometimes I read it out loud. Sometimes I read it in my head. The V in Savior is vision, and I kind of change it up every day, but I spend time literally like closing my eyes and visualizing things. And the one thing that I visualize the most is being a nice mommy. So I envision situations that happen where my kids are going to piss me off or get on my nerves or frustrate me. And I visualize myself responding in a kind way instead of snapping and yelling or getting angry or frustrated and responding to them in an unkind way. So that's something that I just struggle with in my motherhood in general. And so that is probably the biggest thing that I like to visualize. And the thing with visualizing is that when I do something like that, when the situation actually does happen, when my kids get annoyed, I can kind of take a deep breath, and I already kind of know how I'm going to respond instead of instinctually, responding in a mean way. So, but you could do vision with anything, like anything you're visualizing, a goal, a vacation we take as a family, whatever, I love visualizing. Okay, the I in Savior is intercessory, and that's when I pray. So I will take 10 minutes and I'll pray for other people, pray for my business, pray for my team, you guys, pray for my husband, my kids, family. So that's kind of when I pray, and I'll write down prayers and put them on my bulletin board. And sometimes I'll just read all the prayers that I've written. O is organize, and that's when I take my planner, I look at my day, and I kind of just organize it and plan it out. I see what chunks of time I have to work on my business, and I plug in the to-dos that I'm going to do during that time. I see if I have to run any errands. I kind of just lay out my day with low expectations, because anything could change at a moment's notice with kids. But I just kind of like plan it out. And then for the last 10 minutes I read, and usually it's like a devotional or from the Bible or something like that. Usually I listen when I'm getting ready. I also have my earbuds in, and I listen to like a parenting book or a self-development book or whatever. So that's kind of what I do for my morning routine. If you don't already do a morning routine, I highly recommend experimenting and seeing how it goes. You could try it for a week and just see the difference that it makes in your life. But I want to hear about it if you do it. So anybody have any comments or any questions or anything about morning routines? We good? Okay, awesome. Okay, well, I am gonna stop recording this, and can't wait to hear what you guys do with your morning routine. I think it's gonna be great, guys.